right now during this quarantine, some questions may be coming up because we're not able to meet physically as the community of believers that we are. For those that are in the church in English, in 1 Corinthians, we have the theme verse for the year. 1 Corinthians 1:2 says, "To the church of God that is in Corinth," which means to the church of God. To the word church, ecclesia, means assembly, the assembly of God. Honestly, right now we're not able to assemble physically. So what's church going to look like after this quarantine? Honestly, what are we losing here when we're not meeting together? Well, one of the things that we're missing is the opportunity to do what Hebrews 3:12-14 says. "Take care, brothers, lest there be in any of you an evil, unbelieving heart, leading you to fall away from the living God. But exhort one another every day, as long as it is called today, that none of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin." Verse 14 says, "For we have come to share in Christ, if indeed we hold our original confidence firm to the end." And I'm reminded by that, well, one of the things that we lose is that we're not able to have the facility of talking to one another and doing the one another's. We have to do it in the means possible. But in this verse, I was reminded that it says that we do all these one another's, for we have come to share in Christ. The people that we gather together in our local church, we do the one another's, and we do the things that Christ has told us to obey Him with. What's it going to look like for me after this quarantine? Well, think about it this way. When I get out of this quarantine, there's some family that I haven't seen for weeks. I probably won't see them for more than a month, that live 3 miles away. There's some family in Honduras, more than 1,000 miles away. I haven't seen them for months, even more than a year, some of them. It's silly for me to let time pass by and decades maybe pass by, and after I see them, have forgotten that they are my family. They are my sister, my cousin, my mom, my dad. Why? Because of the bond that I have with them. They are my family. Nothing is going to change that fact. And the same thing happens for us as believers. We are sharing a common eternal bond with anybody that has faith in Christ. I have an eternal bond with those that have come to share in Christ. Whether they're quarantined or not, in this season and the next season, I have that fellowship with them. And I have that fellowship with my local church. One of the pastors, when this quarantine began, reminded me and said, the enemy that we're going to have is the enemy of isolation. The brothers and sisters in our congregation get isolated. And I'm calling and pleading for you for the same thing. Fight against isolation. Warren Wiersbe had a quote. I'll read it. "When a Christian is in fellowship with the Lord and with the local church, he enjoys a special protection from Satan. But when he is out of fellowship with God and excommunicated from the local church, he is fair game for the enemy." When we stop obeying Jesus in community, in fellowship, we are fair game for the enemy. In this quarantine, let's, in the means possible, keep ourselves connected with other believers, doing the one another's and reminding each other of who we are, what we have, what we do in Christ. In this season and in any season, let's keep ourselves in community with God and in communion with one another. Thank you.